Carolina and the communities they serve, what we do, and how we do it in support of you. Now, here's your host, Corporal Dale Ream.
Good morning and welcome to Carolina Marines. Our first story this morning comes to us from Camp Lejeunce. It was the fall of 1983 and Camp Lejeunce Marines and sailors were serving in war-torn Beirut as part of the multinational peacekeeping force. In one tragic moment, a terrorist in an explosive-filled vehicle killed over 261 men. Camp Lejeunce Marines and family members observed the anniversary recently. With that report, here's Lance Corporal Marnie Holdren.
Approximately 300 people gathered at the Beirut Memorial October 23rd to commemorate the 8th anniversary of the terrorist bombing of Marine barracks in Beirut, Lebanon that killed 241 servicemen. Most of the men were from Camp Lejeune's 24th Marine Amphibious Unit that was serving as part of a peacekeeping force there. The Jacksonville community raised funds for the construction of a memorial, which was completed in 2 stages. The wall was the first phase of the memorial and was dedicated October 23, 1986. A bronze statue of a lone Marine keeping vigil over his fellow Marines was unveiled October 22, 1988. Brigadier General Michael P. Downs, Commanding General of Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune, felt privileged to participate in a ceremony honoring the Marines, sailors, and soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice 8 years ago.
Not only is it a fitting memorial to those that died, but it honors all who served and stands as a vivid reminder for us all of a significant part of our heritage and clear evidence that freedom isn't free.
Robert Gannon spoke before the dedication of a plaque bearing his poem, The Other Wall, that was added to the memorial this year. Gannon hopes that his poem reflects respect for the Beirut victims and pride in the armed forces.
The important words are not my words about the wall. The important words are the words on the wall, the names on the wall, the 272 different names on the wall.
Primary speaker, retired Lieutenant General John H. Miller, who commanded Fleet Marine Force Atlantic and 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force at the time of the bombing, spoke of the honorable mission these Marines were on.
They went not to harm anyone, but to prevent harm. They were there to uphold an established government, to provide a degree of stability for the negotiators at the higher levels to try to negotiate a lasting peace.
As the final notes of taps sounded, the words of the last stanza of Gannon's poem rang true. And their wall shall stand forever, so long as freedom shines on the splendor and the glory of the Carolina pines. Reporting from Camp Lejeune, I'm Lance Corporal Marnie Holdren.
The memorial is located on North Carolina Highway 24 and is open 24 hours a day. In other news, even though the global nuclear threat is declining every day, the possibility of biological warfare is still high. Some countries with these weapons in their stockpile have even used them against their own people. But to help Marines deal with this threat, the Corps has introduced a new vehicle. It's called the Fox.
One of the most difficult environments for Marines to operate in is one that's been contaminated by a nuclear, biological, or chemical agent. In addition to the obvious health hazards, Marine must wear clumsy protective gear and often are not even aware that they are in a contaminated area until it's too late. This may soon change, however, due to a vehicle recently acquired by the Marine Corps. This is the M93F NBC Reconnaissance System, or Fox vehicle. This German-made vehicle, which was first delivered to the Corps in Saudi Arabia, has a variety of missions. It can be used as a reconnaissance vehicle to detect chemical or radiological agents and to take biological samples and mark contaminated areas. To accomplish this mission, the Fox has several integrated systems. One such system is the Mobile Mass Spectrometer, or MM1. Sergeant David Brown, an NBC specialist with 2nd Marine Division, gives us an overview of what the MM1 entails.
And what it does is it detects 60 known chemical agents. There's also room in the computer for a few other agents that maybe haven't been invented yet or due to intelligence we don't know about. But as we get the information, we constantly update the computer. Also in the computer is all the Radiac equipment where we measure radiation and things of that nature.
Here's how this system works. As the vehicle moves through an area, one of two wheels are in contact with the ground. These wheels utilize an adhesive to pick up small amounts of debris off the ground and bring them up to a probe. The probe, which heats up to well above 500 degrees Fahrenheit, will ionize any contaminants present. Then, working much like a vacuum cleaner, the probe sucks the ions into a holding tank attached to the MM1. From here, the computer analyzes the contaminants and identifies it to the operator. After an area is found to be contaminated, the Fox crew marks it. All the systems aboard the Fox are not this high-tech, though, like this sample collector. This is used to obtain samples of the area for later identification. This operation isn't as easy as it seems either. The operator must lie on the floor of the vehicle, put his left arm into a glove, and manipulate a pincher arm almost without looking. The only way to see what you're doing is through a small window. This vehicle has many other advantages which make it an ideal weapon in combat, like ballistic plates to cover the windows, an overpressure system that keeps any airborne contaminants out of the vehicle, and the vehicle is also amphibious. All these options combine to make the Fox a state-of-the-art device in the defense against an NBC threat.
The Corps is continuing to deliver these vehicles to Marine commands throughout the globe. Coming up next on Carolina Marines, we'll take a look at Marines overcoming deadly obstacles with their bare hands.
Okay, you got to make a decision whether it's big enough to investigate or not. It's your call.
Sergeant, will the trip wire set it off?
Yes, trip wire will set it off. Yeah. Any type of wire, any type of metal, a nail, you name it, it'll set it off, all right?
This is where the time is hard. Where keeping in line is even tougher. Where busting out is all but next to impossible.
I may have found a way out of here.
This is Clint Eastwood's Escape from Alcatraz.
Sunday at 10 on Fox 8.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town, along with Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay, Rudolph, full power!
Now you can light up the holiday season for your children again and again with 3 of the best-loved original Christmas classics ever, all from Time Life Video. From Frosty to Rudolph to Santa himself.
It's almost Christmas.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer.
All the magical characters you loved as a child back again to make Christmas even more memorable for your kids or grandchildren.
Frosty the Snowman was alive as he could be, and the children say he could laugh and play just the same as you and me.
A Child's Video Christmas. 3 legendary movies selected by Time Life as the best in children's holiday entertainment. And all for $39.99.
It's a difficult responsibility when you accept an appointment from His Majesty.
So call now for all the warmth, wonder, and great music, too.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you'll go down in...
Here's how to order your Child's Video Christmas now.
Merry Christmas!
To order your Child's Video Christmas, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-626-1300. That's 1-800-626-1300. Or send $39.99 plus $4.50 shipping and handling to Child's Video Christmas, P.O. Box 1880, Department CR, Alexandria, Virginia 22313. Or call 1-800-626-1300.
Welcome back to Carolina Marines. Also in the news this week, as seen in the Gulf War, a minefield or obstacle can be a serious hindrance to a unit's battle plans. Well, the Marine Corps has a school that trains Marines to overcome these types of obstacles, and one of those schools is located at Camp Lejeunce. Staff Sergeant Gene DeForest takes a look at one course that requires skill and steady nerves.
The art of clearing enemy minefields requires patience, teamwork, and a lot of moxie. Now, moxie is something Mother Nature provides, but the skill, teamwork, and knowledge in minefield breaching is gained through this course at the Marine Corps Engineer School at Courthouse Bay. Sergeant Willie Drains, an instructor, says that the importance in minefield breaching was highlighted in the opening hours of the Desert War.
For the most part, they was doing a lot more hasty breaches, okay? So they was utilizing the line charge trailer. However, after they did their hasty breaches, then they were going through proofing the lanes using this same technique in which they're using now to ensure that all the mines were taken out doing the actual line charge trailer.
Here, the students learn not only the art of detecting and defusing mines, but also how to plant mines and booby-trap them to try and fool the enemy. For this type of training, students are assigned to squads, and they're given a stretch of road or trail in which to plant dummy mines, some of which have simulated booby traps. Then the squads switch off and the mine clearing begins. All through the process, Sergeant Drains provides instruction and constructive criticism.
Okay, you got to make a decision whether it's big enough to investigate or not. It's your call.
Sergeant, will the trip wire set it off?
Yes, trip wire will set it off. Yeah. Any type of wire, any type of metal, a nail, you name it, it'll set it off, all right?
When you sweep it, don't sweep too rapidly.
Anybody got any questions? Now, all your gear has got to maintain on this line. Everything you have has got to stay on that line because that's the only safe area you got out there.
Third man.
Each member of the team has a specific job to do, and the Marines switch responsibilities often in order to learn the job of the others. Sergeant Drains commented on one of the most important aspects of this type of training.
The Marines themselves realize the proper technique and the proper way to do the training so that in the event they have to breach the minefield, they can do it in an orderly manner and no casualties are possible.
Reporting from Courthouse Bay, Camp Lejeune, I'm Staff Sergeant Gene DeForest.
Although this is a rather advanced course, all Marines are taught mine-breaching skills in basic training. Elsewhere aboard Camp Lejeune, the 2nd Force Service Support Group provides combat support in many areas, including medical. And providing medical care under combat conditions is a demanding task. The U.S. Navy medical teams in the 2nd FSSG train regularly to stay proficient, not only in a routine environment, but in the field as well. This simulated injury was one of many to come through this operating room. It was done in an effort to test the capabilities of Bravo Company, 2nd Medical Battalion, 2nd Force Service Support Group during a recent exercise. More than 100 sailors and Marines from Bravo Company participated in the exercise, which put to test the company's capabilities as a collecting and clearing company. This company, as well as the 3 just like it in the battalion, is the first stop where a casualty can receive blood and surgical care. One of the main purposes of this exercise was to give the personnel some hands-on time with their equipment.
Bring them out to the field where they can train as a unit on how a company functions. It's real hard to get the functioning that a collecting clearing company does if you're understaffed. So we fill up a full TO, bring it to the field so they can work as a unit.
Lieutenant Commander Charles Emerton, the battalion's training officer. Perhaps the most difficult part of the exercise to cope with was the working conditions. Many of these doctors had never been in the field, and there was at least one who had never worn a set of utilities. But even so, according to Captain Sylvia Gannett, the triage officer and an experienced field medical officer, the sailors and Marines in this exercise put the hardships aside and accomplished their mission.
They're taking this thing very seriously, and they're finding problems, but they're also voicing a lot of solutions, so it'll be good for us to.
In addition to flexing their medical muscle, they also received some field training in areas such as security patrols and chemical warfare. In all, said Lieutenant Ben Farrell, the company commander, his people performed well.
They're outstanding. They're true professionals. The unique aspect of the organization, as you see it right now, is that we have BSO'd into my company elements from the quantity areas in motor T, communications, engineering. I also have corpsmen from other companies, and we've been able to work as a team right off the bat.
Coming up next on Carolina Marines, we take a look at Marines battling some heavy surf.
The Marine Corps Ball and holiday parties will soon be here.
Nothing to wear? Look again. Elise is everywhere. So where are you going?
Glenda's, 2704 News Boulevard, New Bern.
Julie, have you seen the new Crystal Coast Comfort Center?
Yeah, how could you miss it? It's hard to keep my eyes on the road when we pass by.
Haven't you been inside?
Not yet.
Then you're missing it. They've still got nice salespeople and the lowest prices, but inside, the selection is incredible. What an atmosphere. It's even bigger than before. Check them out. They're open till 7 tonight.
Crystal Coast Comfort Center now has a new location, a larger showroom, a greater selection, lower prices, and better service. Visit the Crystal Coast Comfort Center, Highway 70 west of Morehead City, next to the Carpet Bargain Center.
More important than the budget and the board meetings, above all else, your family is your most important asset. But what would happen one day if you're no longer there to provide for them? Ensure a bright future for your family at Beam Cooper Gainey & Associates, with insurance coverage for your life, health, auto, home, and business. At Beam Cooper Gainey & Associates, we'll review your present insurance coverage, give you price comparisons and recommendations to make your insurance coverage more complete. Call Beam Cooper Gainey & Associates for comprehensive insurance coverage and peace of mind. Beam Cooper Gainey & Associates, 810 Arundel Street, Morehead City.
Whether for hunting or home defense, give yourself the edge. Smith's Gun & Pawn has the largest selection of firearms in Carteret County. We've got rifles, pistols, shotguns, and ammunition. At Smith's Gun & Pawn, we specialize in new and antique firearms. We've also got TVs, stereos, VCRs, bicycles, guitars, tools, and surfboards. You'll also find a beautiful selection of new and used jewelry at P&S Jewelers. Stop by Smith's Gun & Pawn, 4022 Arundel in Morehead City.
Welcome back. Although we often think of wading ashore in the dead of night as a mission only belonging to the elite forces of the military, they may not always be available to do the job. That's why Marines from Gulf Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, decided to undergo training similar to that done by Marine Reconnaissance Forces. Staff Sergeant Gene DeForest has more.
These are not Marines from the 2nd Recon Battalion. Rather, they are your average infantrymen from Gulf Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, undergoing the Scout Swimmers course. Gunnery Sergeant Rick Mayorga, raid instructor with the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Forces Special Operations Training Group, talked about the course requirements.
It's a one-week basic Scout Swimmer course for the infantry company, the raid company, the boat company when they come ashore. The side stroke is the primary stroke that we use with the Scout Swimmers here on the beach because they swim with fins. That's the next class we give them is orientation is swimming with swim gear. Fins, wetsuit top, and a BC. A lot of these swimmers are real good as a side stroke, but when they come time to do a flutter kick that you use for a fin, they don't know how to swim with fins. So we spend a lot of time teaching these guys how to swim with fins. Also, we get into teaching them how to waterproof, a little bit more advanced waterproofing because, of course, the Scout swimmers got to have their stuff thoroughly waterproof.
Despite the similarity to Recon Battalion's mission, the Scout Swimmers are not designed to replace the reconnaissance assets.
Well, when I give them the initial class, the first day we get them, this is a modified Scout Swimmer course based on what normal reconnaissance Marines and SEAL teams do. When they're on ship and on float, the MU commander, when he issues out the mission for an amphibious raid, in particular a boat raid, he has the option of using the SEAL team or the recon battalion force or battalion would have.
It's very physically demanding. It really is. And SOTG, we're going right now with a very heavy load, a lot of gear and equipment, which is good training, it's good practice. You know, we can tweak it and lessen it or add to the packs. And it's taking a lot of practice working with that gear. They're doing a real good job of bringing us up to speed right now, but we definitely have to do more swim training.
As instructor, Gunnery Sergeant Mayorga critiques Lieutenant Journey on each phase of the training.
Right. Okay, they left off. You guys going to be left here for beach security. Right. They're on their way back. They did a link up. They did a flashlight or they gave a challenging password, etc. They came in, you left the people in this position. That last wave left. Now normally your boats, when they're swimming from the boat to the surf zone, the back of the surf zone, they're looking for enemy activity. In addition to obstacles on the beach, both in the water and on the beach itself. Because again, they're going to bring in 3 waves of 5 boats. If there are, say, abandoned ships or wrecked ships or big boulders and rocks, obstructions, he's going to have to make his contingency plan to move the landing site left or right. So that's what they're looking for. So it's a continuous observation of that breaker zone.
Gulf Company is the boat company for 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, which is preparing to deploy as the ground combat element for the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit. Reporting for the Public Affairs Office, I'm Staff Sergeant Gene DeForest.
The Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation will award more than 600 scholarships for the 1992-93 academic year. In order to qualify, students must meet certain eligibility requirements. For more information, write to the Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation, James Forrestal Campus, Post Office Box 3008, Princeton, New Jersey, 08543. Now, once again, that address is James Forrestal Campus, Post Office Box 3008, Princeton, New Jersey, 08543. We'll be right back with our final segment. Stay with us.
Sunday, the bad boys of comedy meet up with Sam Kinison in Living Color. And can Rock get back in the ring after 20 years?
I got a pretty good workout lifting garbage cans every day.
Go upside his head with a garbage can.
Right. Then Al Bundy meets his maker.
Well, what did you say to God?
I said, where'd you get those shoes?
Married with children. And Herman and Eddie hate each other. But this Sunday...
Well, that ought to shut her up.
Herman's Head. You're going to laugh with all new episodes Sunday.
Colonial Carolina Pottery has tremendous half-price savings. All wicker furniture and thousands of wicker baskets half off. Selected floral arrangements and Mexican pottery are half off. Check out the values in the linen shop. 25% off all merchandise. Shop the pottery for spectacular savings.
I love shopping at Pack-A-Sack. I have a very busy schedule. I don't have time to look all over town for varieties and low prices. They have it all right here at Pack-A-Sack.
I don't even have to check because I know that Pack-A-Sack has the lowest prices.
At Pack-A-Sack, we guarantee our low prices. If you find an item priced lower in another food store, let us know. We'll beat that price. Then we'll work a deal with our suppliers to keep it low. At Pack-A-Sack, your total food purchase costs less. We guarantee it.
Kentucky Fried Chicken asked this man to help prove how irresistible our new honey barbecue wings taste. Just look at those tender, juicy wings, prepared with our savory barbecue sauce and sweetened with just the right touch of honey. For a limited time only, new honey barbecue wings from Kentucky Fried Chicken. So irresistible, the experts are already buzzing about it. In fact, they're spreading the news.
You'll always find a friendly face at Piggly Wiggly, your hometown grocery store. Our courteous employees are waiting to give you extra special attention to make your shopping easy. We'll do our best to make sure you're completely satisfied. This week's meat special at Piggly Wiggly is T-bone steaks, $2.99 a pound, only at Piggly Wiggly. So come by and see us this week at Piggly Wiggly, your hometown grocery store, where customer satisfaction comes first.
Welcome back. Finally on our show this morning, as the modern battlefield becomes more technical, so too must the training that Marines receive. From expensive flight simulators to chambers that allow practice firing of anti-aircraft missiles, the Corps' training is on the cutting edge. In this next report, Corporal Jeffrey Ferris shows us another impressive training device. It's called the Tactical Warfare Simulation, Evaluation, and Analysis System. And as he shows us, it's not just another video game.
If there's any doubt that the age of computer simulation is here, the Tactical Warfare Simulation Evaluation Analysis System, better known as TWASIS, should put these doubts to rest. In the simplest of terms, TWASIS is a realistic training system that uses computer simulation to place unit commanders in situations that challenges and enhances their decision-making skills.
The system will give them an initial situation, and we gather that information from them before the exercise begins. What we try to do is afford them the opportunities to make decisions afterwards. TWASIS does not make decisions. The commander and his staff do.
Each unit commander operates inside a maneuver cell, and based on his evaluation of the situation, uses his computer to call for supporting fire from the supporting arm cell. One of the most amazing things about the systems is that they can simulate just about anything a commander may encounter in actual combat. And it even generates a battle damage assessment that determines the number of casualties and the loss of equipment, as well as the overall outcome of the battle. Just as important, Toisies is cost-effective.
Instead of having to bring the entire battalion out here, or the division, all he needs to do is just, all a commander needs to do is have his staff out here. And so it becomes cost-effective when you start talking about manpower and the different assets in order to run an exercise out in the field.
While no system is perfect, the effectiveness of this system has been well documented throughout the Corps during the past 14 years.
And that's our show for this week. We thank you for watching. Join us next week when we'll bring you highlights from the Corps' 216th birthday. Have a great day.
If you have a story idea for Carolina Marines, please call the Camp Lejeunce Public Affairs Office at 451-5655 or 1607, or the Cherry Point Public Affairs Office at 466-2536 or 3542.